Well, hello, hello, hello there, my Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising Mercury signs. Welcome to your Samhain read, trigger warning and all, and your Mercury Retrograde in Scorpio read. Yay, I am your reader, Archangel Lyons, Mal for short. Feel free to call me Mal, all my friends too. President of Joining the Circle Productions, professional witch. Don't you love that? Ever zombie and witch? It was a gift. I don't buy myself a lot of witchy stuff anymore. I got tons, right? So, but I love this. I customized it myself with a scissor. Professional witch, professional intuitive, and damn Skippy, happy to be doing this work. So here we go, another day, another bunch of readings for YouTube. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. I'm almost done, and I will tell you these reads have been something else. Now, I'm not obviously going to be doing these readings that often because it's just for Samhain tide, right? And Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. I'll probably always do a Mercury retrograde thing, but what if I only did readings on retrograde? No one would subscribe to my channel. So my Saggies, thank you for subscribing if you haven't. If you haven't already, please do, because I'm shooting for that 1,000 subscribers so I can do super live chat because I love interacting with people. I've been a public speaker for the majority of my life. Really, I started when I was 22. I'm 51 now, right? So I'm like really used to being like in a classroom or in front of an audience, and I'm fun as fuck. Well, you know, when you do it in public, you have to edit. Here, I don't have to edit. So it's way more fun, and I don't have to leave my house, which is delightful. So if you have not read, you know, the description box below, there's a lot of info down there, but that first part in there, like trigger warning, that this is about embracing the shadow, because what's Samhain? If you're not familiar with the word, like what's Samhain? First of all, it's pronounced Samhain, but that's okay. It's like ancient Celtic. Who the hell speaks that fluently anymore? S-A-M-H-A-I-N, but it is... yeah, people consider it Halloween, and I get it. Halloween is the secular part of it, right? That's trick-or-treating October 31st. But the cross quarter of Samhain is the last spoke in the pagan wheel of the year, right? Instead of the cycle of the moon, the cycle of the sun. So if you think of it as the dark moon of the sun, you get what I'm saying? It's the PMS of the solar cycle. It's dissolution, death, dissolving, breakdown, transformation, and then add to that, please, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Yeah. I won't say it's a sign of the apocalypse, but it's certainly pointing at something, right? So, you know, but we're dealing with this all on a personal level. So Samhain actually usually hits about a week after Halloween when the sun is at 15 degrees Scorpio, you know, and I didn't even look it up. It's like it ultimately doesn't matter. The energies are what the energies are, the cycles of nature. So, you know, you can look that up if you like. But I think more importantly, to get that these readings are about helping you heal, right? This is about helping you heal, helping you kind of get, and sometimes in retrospect, that everything that happens in our lives, whether what's rising up inside of us emotionally when we get triggered, or whatever comes at us to trigger us, is here to help us. Now, more than just trigger us, not just the harsh, horrible stuff, because it's harsh and horrible in our experience. And it's here to help you, but you don't have to like it, right? You don't have to like it. You just kind of have to accept on some level. It's like, all right, I don't know how the fuck this is happening to help me heal and make me a better person. They're giving me the image, and I use this this rather often for over 20 years. When they asked Michelangelo how he created the David, right? The statue of the David, which actually I have one. There he is. Hi. He's got his weenie hanging out. Michelangelo said, well, no, I didn't. God created the Michelangelo. I just chipped away the excess marble. Right? About healing the ego, embracing the shadow, right? The emotional baggage, the mental, psychological toxic patterns, right? And where do we do that? Mostly in our relationships, right? But that also could be relationship with money, relationship with your body, right? Health issues and stuff like that. So that's what these readings are for. So let me apologize in advance. If this really, because I've already had a couple of subscribers like unsubscribe, which doesn't mean that the reading wasn't for them, right? It's like if you really get triggered, like, fuck you, unsubscribe, then, you know, it's like I got to do what I do. I'm at a point in my own spiritual development, and I think you'll resonate with this a bit as Sagittarians, right? You got to be truthful, but truth without compassion is brutality, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So that's why, you know, I mix it in with humor and I say fuck a lot, right? To kind of give you like that breath of, oh, well, thank God, at least he's funny. And I'm wearing guy liner for you, right? Okay, Halloween, Samhain. This is about as witchy as I get. When you've been a witch for as long as I am, Halloween, you see, I'm not a Samhain boy. I'm Beltane. I'm the Beltane boy. That's who. Oh, I'm so much fun at Beltane. I'm fun all fucking year long, all over the year. So shall we get down to biz? We're all cool. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, I apologize in advance if this is tricky and triggery for you. But, you know, I'm not a la-di-da reader, but I am fun, loving, and compassionate, right? Ruthlessly compassionate, but with a good sense of humor and cool purple, overtone purple for brown hair. They're not my sponsors, but God, I would love them to be. Okay. So I'm going to say over and over and over again, take a breath. Breathe. Breathe. Every time we breathe, we are breathing in prana, chi, spirit, reiki, shmeki, eggs and bakey, whatever you want to call it, right? Breathing it in, right? Filling every cell and then exhaling everything that's ready to go. Not everything all at once. You're not going to inhale everything that you need all at once for your entire lifetime, right? We're talking about waiting to exhale. And of course, what you exhale, you're not going to be letting go of all of your toxicity, all of your patterns forever and evermore, all in one exhale. Talk about really waiting to exhale. So take a few deep breaths, right? Let me get centered here. I like crossing my legs because I'm a Virgo. We're the only sign who crosses its legs. So let's get nice and grounded and centered, and I am going to ask the guides, the masters, the gods, the teachers, the higher selves of all involved, what's going on for you, all right? So take a deep breath. Here we go. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card, a Caroline Mace archetype card. All my decks are listed in the book. A Caroline Mace archetype card to represent this Sagittarian Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign, this Samhain tide, this Samhain season, and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. What is the soul power that they are alchemizing from lead to gold? What is the dominant archetype for them that they can focus on? That's to help them. That's to help them heal, embrace the shadow, alchemize, and become the best that they can be. All right, please, one card in clarity for this Sag. Here we go. Oh, the student. You know, for all the cards in the deck, I notice that a lot of the same ones keep popping up when I do a certain zodiacal series. And, you know, I bless the deck before I hit record. So I'm like really shuffling them and really praying that the right cards come up for whoever's going to be watching this, even though I'm really tuned into a Sagittarian collective with all those different planets in there. It's a lot of people. It's like hundreds of thousands of people. And, you know, if hundreds of thousands of people watch this, kick ass. But, you know, it's going to be a percentage of that because of the archetypal nature of the universe and the divine plan, right? So let me read this. This will be like that dominant, like the main energy. This is you, or at least the energy. Really, we're not our archetypes. They're the patterns we incarnate with in our contract. That are here to help us, but it's all about the alchemy of shadow into light, or the way I like to say it, lead into gold. I prefer the language of alchemy. So the shadow attribute, usually when I do these readings and I use these cards, I start with the light. This time we're starting with the shadow, so that you know what's you know, a little bit clarity right away. Breathe. Shadow attribute. Arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge. Now, what's arrogance? Arrogance is like, well, I'm going to learn how to do that, and I'm just going to fucking burn the world down. Or if you're trying to learn something about somebody else to take them out, and I don't mean take them out on a date, I mean take them out, right? It's like destructive knowledge. I am going to learn things, and I am going to use them, right, in a not so great way. The second part of that is unwillingness to translate knowledge into action, right? Like the eternal student, right? It's someone, particularly if you're on, I think we all know people like this, people who like read every spiritual thing, like own every crystal, but, you know, are gossiping, right? Are like being backstabby or just being toxic as fuck, sort of like a spiritual narcissist, right? So the spiritual ego learns a lot of this stuff, all of these terms and things, but is it actually being integrated? Is it being practiced? Is the knowledge being put into action? And we all do that. I mean, I have so many examples in my life, but at least I know I'm willing. And by the way, I am a horrible student. I am a brilliant teacher. I am a brilliant teacher. I taught myself divination. I read a lot of books, right? But really, you just learn from doing it. And public speaking just came naturally. But you know, learning how to do, I taught myself how to do these YouTubes. I didn't have a mentor or a tutor. I was just like, all right, show me, right? And so this is what makes me a good teacher. But as a student, no, I suck ass. I'm class clown. You really don't want me in your workshop. I can't help myself. So the light attribute, right? Humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. Now that word humility, a lot of people are afraid of because they confuse it with humiliation. It's not the same thing. In fact, humility is the shield against humiliation, because humility really at its core is knowing that you don't know, right? In my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, it's in the links below. My second ebook, my first one is Spell Ingredients, which was to see if I could do it. Like I taught myself how to make an ebook by making that book. PDFs, PDF, trigger warning. You can really know that the grace of humility, I call it the maiden grace. Like there's a maiden grace, mother grace, and a crone grace. There are tons more. But the maiden grace is great maiden goddess, please grant me the grace of humility to know that I do not know why. I release the need to know the reasons why things happen the way they do, but I'm willing to be shown the truth and the purpose of how this is helping me, because everything is here to help me. Thank you, so mote it be. All right. So think of that maiden in that way, that humility, and then an openness to lifelong learning. You get like I'm going to learn from everything here sooner or later, so let me be open to it, right? Better than getting left back. But you know, we never get left back in life. We just repeat the patterns over and over and over again, and that's called the compassionate return of the universe. Gary Zukov, Seed of the Soul. Okay, let's leave that one there. Now we're going to do something different now. For my usual watchers, my subscribers, you're probably familiar with this blue clouded bag. This is the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, but look, I cut it in two. One to represent the shadow or the lead, all the problem cards. Yes, I took 2 minutes and sat down and sorted them out. Or what do we call them, my followers? Ready? The womp womp cards, the Debbie Downer deck. Oh, the Debbie Downer deck. Oh, someone needs to make a Debbie Downer deck. I've been thinking about making the graces into a divination system, but honey, I'm so busy right now. The other deck is the other 3 suits. Oh, good. Look, you got the lovers at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, we'll see. It's not the same as in tarot. So there's the healing suit, the luck suit, and the grace suit in here. Cool, cool. So we're going to get one of these each, and then we're done with those, because believe me, these have been more than enough. Oh, I forget who got it, but one of them got infidelity in the shadow. What was that, Libra? I don't remember. It was Leo or Libra or Gemini. I don't remember. I was like, even afterwards when I was editing, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I was not, like, I know my readings are accurate. I've been doing it, and repetition is the mother of skill. Thank you, Tony Robbins. I would love to climb Tony Robbins. So hot. Spiritual. But even I was like, oh, fuck. Woo! Salad. Rethink it, baby. So here we go. Let's dive in. My masters, please. One card for the Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign. For this Samhain and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, give us an indication of the Sagittarian student archetype led. Like, what's going on here? What's the shadow they need to embrace? Oh, rules. Rules. That's odd for a Sagittarian. Now, maybe these rules are yours. You know, you're going to embrace what rises within you. But that can also really very much speak of, you know, things that were helpful for a time, right? A reason, I don't like that word, I prefer a purpose, a season, but not a lifetime, right? Like you tell children don't talk to strangers, and that's very wise for a 4-year-old, right? Don't talk to strangers. It's not so great in a 24-year-old, is it? Right? Yeah, so there are certain rules, and this isn't about healthy boundaries. This is about rules. This is about, well, you know, you have to be You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wise. So no, those are healthy things to shoot for. This is about, well, I'm not getting involved unless you make this amount of money, and I'm not doing that. In other words, it's coming from fear. It's the shadow's way of ensuring that we don't get hurt, which just ensures that we get hurt, right? Because we keep running into these brick walls, and we're like, oh, why does that keep happening? And it's an old rule, right? Not a healthy boundary, an old rule. Right, and it hurts when your rules constrain you. They cut into you like barbed wire after a while. Like at first, they're like a lovely little buffer around you, right? Your rules, it's like, no, I'm not going to engage with people who are negative, right? Essential for a certain part in your healing. But then, you know, after a while, the gods keep sending you more and more negative people so that you learn how to respond with love, right? Everything happens for you. So if you're just trying to keep out the bad stuff, that's third dimensional illusion of separation, that some things are good and some things are bad. Where fifth dimensional unity consciousness is that it's all one thing. It's all one, that we implode that positive negative thing. Hence we have to do this alchemy within ourselves to make room, if you will, for unity consciousness. Heaven on earth, really, bliss, ecstasy, because really even your bliss and ecstasy at some point will have a negative repercussion. Why? Because love brings up its opposite, right? So you'd be like, oh no, bliss is, no more bliss, right? Tricky shit. So let's ask the masters, please, what is the gold here? What is the healing, lucky, graceful element for this Sagittarian collective? Student archetype, sun, moon, rising Mercury sign for this Samhain tide, and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, considering they are dealing with rules. My masters, please. Oh, tenderness. Where is it? I know, I'm like an 80s music. I'm like WLIR channel, right? Tenderness, tenderness. No, that just feels so lovely. So, you know, there's a part of this. I don't think there's a gentleness card in this deck, but it's about be gentle with yourself. Don't just go burning down all your rules all at once, right? Anarchy, right? What is your highest truth? What is your highest truth? What is it that you're learning? Like if you're, like gently, tenderly, this is not a race. I'm going to reevaluate my rules and put into action that which I am learning. So that if I learn that what was helpful one day is toxic the next, I'm not going to beat myself up, right? I'm going to get, this is a learning curve student. That the only one who's really judging me is me, and if other people are, that has nothing to do with me. They're just there for me to bless with non-judgment and then walk the fuck away, right? Oh, bless you. Yeah, you don't have to stay in toxic environments to learn. Sometimes the learning, the message is get up and go. Pick up your bed and walk, right? But to really feel the rules and tenderness here, there might very much be not just a need to be tender with yourself, but to be tender with others, right? Particularly if there are rules and regulations to abide and obey. Go look up the band Fuzzbox, Fuzzblox. Well, hello, Melchior. Oh, we've got a witch cat cameo. Do not come up on the table. They're not allowed up on the table. I let them do pretty much everything else they want. You should see the shredding they do with my friends. I love you, Boo. I love you, sweetheart. Yeah, go ahead, lay down. My Taurus, my baby one, he's the youngest. So we've got those on the table. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get 5 Daughters of the Moon Tarot, the element spread. It is my personal favorite quickie. It's just this is a quickie that we are incorporating into a larger read for a different purpose, right? So let's ask the gods. Now the god that sits in the throne of Sagittarius for me is Zeus. I love Zeus. I know people don't like Zeus, but he's evolved so much. He's so hot. He's so powerful. Where are you? Ain't that right, Papa? Yeah, he's back there. You see him? Oh, yeah, see him? You see him? That's my dad. Son of Zeus. So, and I am really feeling that jovial fun. You know, Jove is another name for Jupiter, is another name for Zeus. So joviality, right? You're ruled by Jupiter. So an expansive, I'm kind of feeling this, that this maybe, you know, rules with tenderness. You're going to be maybe possibly let off the hook from the other signs that I've done that have just like been dragged through the underworld, the sub-basement of the underworld, through broken glass and salted barbed wire. I mean, mine too, you know. That's why I love, you notice the ones that are Virgo, let's see, what am I? I'm Leo rising, Virgo sun, Libra, Mercury, Venus, and Pisces moon. They're a little bit longer because I'm coping with what I'm seeing. So that's why I love doing ones I don't have any planets in. So let's ask the god, Zeus in particular, please. Top 5 cards, element spread for this Sagittarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Sun. Element of fire, what do they really want? Element of earth, what do they have to get them what they want? What they have to deal with to get what they want. Element of air, what are they thinking about what they want? Element of water, what are they feeling about what they want? And element of spirit, the overview, the 5th dimensional perspective of spirit. So please, my God's top 5 cards. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Clean cut, please. Maiden. Nope, not a clean cut. See, this is what that means. That one wants to be on on the top, because that will be the first card down. Maiden, mother, crone. That's why I'm like, clean cut, move down, move down. I know. Alice in Wonderland. Okay. Why does that feel like that's a little specific here? Someone's name Alice, or you feel like up is down and back is forward and dark is light and light is dark and good is bad and bad is good. Well, that's very Alice in Wonderland, and it's the implosion of duality, right? So what do you want, my Saggies? Very Sagittarius card in the sense it's the Wanderer. Now, the 8 of Flames, when you look at the Rider-Waite deck, right? Do be, actually it's this way, and do be holding his wand all bandaged and shit. So there is an impulse here to move on, but this is, you know, the 9, the Wanderer. Not all who wander are lost, right? So there's something pulling you forward to that 10 of Flames completion, which in this deck is the Hora. Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila. I was raised Catholic for like a hot second. I became a witch when I was a teenager. But, you know, my mother, who I call Hera, married my stepfather, who I call Zeus, her divorce lawyer, right? A Jewish lawyer, good Jewish divorce lawyer. So I grew up with bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, you know, the Hora, and they don't do it at funerals. It's a dance of celebration. So I love that reinterpretation for the 10 of Flames. So this is like, you're being called. It's like, well, what's beyond that? Do you see the sun there in the distance, right over the ridge? It's like, what's going on over there? You're being called, inspiration, right? So in that sense, expansion, right? So that's what you want. That's very true to type, archetype. Well, it's like, ooh, right? You got the student. It's like, ooh, I want to learn that. Ooh, I want to learn that, right? Element of fire. So what's the earth element? Like the wick in the candle that feeds the flame, right? The Taurus card. Now, this is, of course, you know, can represent a person, particularly like ordinarily, I don't instantly make court cards about people, and you know, I just can't say, oh, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, because it literally says on the card Taurus, so I go with that. That's how I read these. But because this is a student archetype I'm talking to here, this very well might be a teacher or a teaching, but it is something that feels very solid and very stable. Now, if you not, you know, because this reading, it's not Samhain yet. Mercury hasn't turned retrograde at the moment I'm doing this, but really for this Samhain season, which some people see as a month and a half until Yule, but really it's a cross quarter. This can go all the way through to Imbolc. February 1st, February 2nd of next year. And then it's gonna unsubscribe. Does anybody do that? Unsubscribe, right? Clickety click. But this is about your life values too. Second house, ultimately, it's, yeah, people are like, oh, it's about your house and about money. It's anything that you value lifelong, fixed, fertile, earth. So that's what you have. So interesting, you have fire, and you have earth and earth. So it feels like the flame of what you want is pretty right on. And it feels like the wick or the fuel, right? You need the element of fuel in there, like the wood in the bonfire. Pretty good, pretty solid. What are you thinking? Because fire needs air, otherwise it goes out. You're thinking about the Ace of Cups, that this is an opportunity, that this is something, that there is that initial cup of happiness. Literally, it says on the card, happiness. That you're thinking about your happiness, maybe creating happiness, maybe saying, you know, I want to, what's calling you beyond that sun rising? Well, it's like the card of the sun, happiness. But it's a seed of happiness. It's a beginning of happiness. So maybe you're not in the best place right now, but like I said, everything is happening to help you. Everything happens for us, not to us. Then everything that's going on here is to call you onward. To you're thinking about your happiness and a real emotional new beginning in Ace. Okay, so what are you feeling, right? So now you got water and air. Let's see what's in your water. This should be interesting. And you've got air in your water. Now, Three of Blades. Now, maybe people are like, oh no, Three of Swords, Three of Blades, heartbreak, heartbreak, heartbreak. I've always had an issue with that, because this is element of air, not element of water. Like, wouldn't heartbreak by definition be water? Wouldn't it be a cup? Like, to me, that's more like the Five of Cups. Just saying. This to me is focus, right? So even Three Swords penetrating into the heart of the matter. Just saying, look, there's no ultimately wrong interpretation of any tarot card. One tarot card can have a near infinite amount of interpretations depending upon the person who's reading, the person you're reading for, you know, the circumstances they're in, all of that. But this is definitely about a four. Considering if you think about the Two of Blades, which in this is analysis, it's then, okay, well, I've got my information, I've got my data, now focus. So it's like not just your emotions, but your intuition is really leading you to what? Focus. To focus on this journey that you're on, this Nine of Flames, this Nine of Wands, because you're close, right? You only need one more wand and you reach the completion of your desire. In this deck, the Hora. This is lovely. We're going to clarify these with angel cards. So this is just like a foundation building upon the first three cards. So what's Spirit's point of view, your spirit? Witch, please. You got the Witch. Yeah, the Magician in this deck, the Witch, right? You're bringing together your air, your fire, your water, your earth in alignment with Spirit. So this is, yes, it's Mercury, right? Is it Hermes? Very much the initiator of a change, but about coming into alignment with Spirit. Oh, so you got a Spirit card in Spirit. That's really cool, actually. I like this feeling a lot. There's not, I mean, people would say, oh no, Three of Blades, Three of Blades. Now look, if there is some emotional pain going on, focus on that. That too is happening for you, right? It's why there's something being released. Maybe there are some rules in there that are cutting into your emotional body that need to be shed. Chains of illusion, chains of fear that may have served you. See, that's the thing. They may have served you up to a certain point, like after a heartbreak, right? Like, that's it. I'm not getting involved with anybody, and no, never, never, never again. And that's part of the grieving process, right? All that rises, falls, erosion and renewal, around and around and around, like Pat Sajak, right? So the thing of even loving that, of giving that its voice, but not letting it control you, because that's fear. Love is the answer. You can try and heal it, but if you just love that, like a child that skinned its knees and never wants to play kickball again. I fucking hated kickball, by the way. I'm a dunce, sir. I'm verbal. It's okay, kid. I love you. It's okay. It's okay. You know, and that might be part of this, but I gotta say, this feels really good. Considering the other reads I've done in this series, this feels really good. So let's clarify it with the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. My angels, please. One card in clarity. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull these. I'm not gonna do top five. Top five on the countdown. Little case of Kasem for you. The millennials are like, what's a case of Kasem? Please. My angels, please. That made some of you laugh hard, didn't it? I could drink a case of Kasem. Please, my angels, one card in clarity for this Nine of Flames, for this Sagittarian Samhain Tide Mercury Retrograde in Scorpio. Support. That's what you want. You want support. You want support, but you know, support of the angels, the gods, the masters, as well as others. You may be looking for soul group. You might be looking for coven. You might be looking for you know, or you know, just support in your life in general. Now, the thing is yes, we can become dependent upon support. What starts off as a support system, if we outgrow it, but according to the rules that we're not allowed to, right, it can become a detriment. It's sort of like, okay, you broke a bone, you've got a cast. 10 years later, you still got the cast on, right? It's like, you don't need that anymore. That's not the kind of support that serves you. So you're looking for something really to back you up, to give you what you need, because we have to be able to support ourselves internally. If you're not capable of supporting yourself externally, deal with what rises within you, right? Love what rises, let it cry, let it be afraid. It is a terrified child inside of you that feels unsafe. And therefore the whole universe is supporting you in this other way. And again, you don't have to like it. You don't have to feel grateful for it at all. But in retrospect, if you walk the path, if you do the work, if you alchemize the lead into gold, the healing work, whatever you want to call it, you will give thanks for it. You look back and go, yeah. All right. So that's your Nine of Flames clarified with the card of support. Let's ask now the angels for this Taurus card. So in their element of earth, my angels, for this Sag collective, can you please clarify this card of the Mother of Pentacles, Taurus, in terms of what they have to get them what they want? What did I just say? Self-acceptance. That's what you have. Well, I accept that I have lifelong values. I accept that I have a path. It's okay for me to feel what I'm feeling. If I'm not feeling supported, there is an energy field inside of me. And remember, in the holographic nature of this world, you're not the only person feeling that. So as you heal that bedrock issue, people would say a core issue. Our core issue is that we've forgotten we don't die, right? That we're divine, that we're not any particular race, gender, color, political affiliation. No, that's like an actor playing only one role forever and ever and ever, like Erica Kane, right? And it's like, oh my God. Well, I'm sure she does some Hallmark things, don't they all eventually, right? I don't watch the Hallmark channel. Channel makes me itch. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I love you, child. I love you, child. And as you love that within yourself, you're helping to clear it for all of humanity. Self-acceptance. That's what you have. That's what you have. Do it. Love yourself, but accept yourself. And I don't even really use the words, I accept that I'm feeling this way. I just talk to that emotion, whatever it is. It's okay. Those are the words. It's okay. That's also in my book, Words of Grace. Pluggity plug, plug, plug. All right, my angels, what are they thinking? They got this really lovely, juicy, delicious Ace of Cups here in the mental field, in the mental body. So please, my angels, one card in clarity for this Ace of Cups for Massagey Wedgies. That one. Ooh, shit, Archangel Michael. Oh, witch. Zombie and witch. Archangel Michael. Now, there is only one Archangel card in this deck. Now, I am a Urielite. I believe, my experience has been that archangels are conglomerations of eternal higher selves. It's sort of like clubs, like the Moose Lodge, right, or the Elks Club. I'm a Urielite. We're a little bit more badass. We're the redeemers, the guardians of the gates of Tartarus. Which I love that. They really should come up with the sauce, Tartarus sauce. So Archangel Michael, that you kind of get that cutting yourself free, right? What's Archangel Michael? The one with the sword of truth. The protector, the defender, sure, but you know, protecting and defending you from what? Right? If everything's here to help you, so it's about you seeing the truth. So it's really good that you have that mentally, right? That Archangel Michael, truth, 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 truth. Now again, truth without compassion is brutality. I don't think archangels are allowed to be brutal. But sometimes if that's what's necessary, that's what's necessary. And keeping in mind, it's clarifying that Ace of Cups, that the truth will not only make you free, but will actually give you this mental sense of happiness. It's like, oh my God, this works. I can do this. Like, I can support myself. Yes, I can support myself. I'm being supported. I've always been supported. Everybody always is. But now I want to go further with that. I want to experience that more. I want to know more about that because it's going to set you free. And then your happiness, which is supposedly our true inherent state. Some days it feels that way, some day not. but it's about removing the obstacles to love's presence. Very Course in Miracles. It's about the clouds that pass before the sun, and then the clouds, you know, move on or dissipate. And then that light is always there. So what's going on then in the emotional field, considering we've got this card of the Three of Blades focus? Now, I'm not really getting heartbreak there. Like you know, of all of the definitions and interpretations of the symbolism, because look, there's even a Sphinx in the background. The Sphinx, you can see it in Paris. Honeymooners. So there is a mystery here to this. There's a focusing on this somehow, an emotional focus, right? So let's have a looksy-dooksy here, please, my angels. One card in clarity for this Three of Blades in the Sagittarian's emotional field. Focus on a new beginning. And there it is over yonder. Well, because if you go over yonder, rhymes, you're going to, oh my God, I just totally had an Archer flashback. If only H. John Benjamin looked like him, I would have nailed him. A new beginning, right? It's, you're going to get that 10. You're going to head towards, you're gonna, with the Nine of Flames, you're going to like pack up, move towards it. Doesn't mean you have to pack up and leave necessarily. I'm not getting that. But then you will achieve that 10. And then have your new beginning, right? Because 1 + 0 is 1. It's true. The seeds are inherent in any completion of a cycle. The seeds in the next, right? Oh, and right, that's what you're thinking about. You're thinking about that new beginning, and you're feeling about that new beginning, right? Would you like me to clarify that for you? Look, this is what's going on in your mind. This is what's going on in your emotional intuitive field. Fabulous. So let's clarify the Witch card, the Magician, for the overview, that you have way more power here than you realize. And we all do. That's just the rule. But, you know, we're in school. We're learning how to use that power, how to come into alignment, not by forcing ourselves, but by allowing ourselves to relax, right? Alignment comes, that's how, I used to be very Abraham Hicks oriented. Been a while now. I mean, blessed be Esther Hicks and all that, people that she's helping. But now it's like I don't take my alignment by how I feel emotionally. I notice what's going on in my body. Breathe. Relax. That's how I know. Flexible, resilient. Yes. I was a dancer. We're the dancers. Justin Timberlake, just fucking gorgeous. Still. Fuck. Okay. So please, my angels. I know I'm yucking it up for you, Sages, because this reading is not as titanic as some of the others. But let's see, we're not done yet. Please, my angels, one card in clarity. For the Sagittarius Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for the Sound Tide and Mercury Retrograde in Scorpio, please. One card in clarity for this card of the Witch, the Magician. What's going on here in the overview? You can't see it? Study, you student. You saw I wasn't even looking at the cards while I was shuffling. Look, there's Elvis. Here's the card. No shame in my game. Wow. So the study of the witch. Now, does this mean study witchcraft? Well, if you want to study witchcraft, I suggest you go to my VIMEO page, because I've got a whole bunch of witch classes on that for when I used to be, and probably, if the gods want me to, still be a teacher and a public speaker. It's just they wanted me to be a YouTuber. All right, I'm a YouTuber. Hopefully a sweet potato. Is a sweet potato a tuber? I forget. Carrot is, I think. I don't fucking remember. So you're learning. Give yourself the learning curve. Give yourself the learning curve. Do not beat yourself up on any of this stuff. You are learning. You are studying, but it is a major arcana card. This is about your spirit, not about you connecting to spirit. You are spirit, but coming into alignment. And how do you do that? Rewrite your rules. What is my conduct? Let your conduct be whatever comes out of my mouth, whatever it is that I choose, whatever it is that I do, whatever my decisions are, let them be in alignment with the highest truth that I am aware of. Now, there's always going to be a higher truth, you see. And the higher you get, the simpler they get, but the harder they get to implement in some ways. But love never goes out of style, right? It doesn't matter how high you go in the vibrational spectrum, the octaves of light, the ascensional overtones within the 12 dimensions. Oi! So much math. How about love is the answer all the way, all the way, all the way home, right? It's like, so you're going to have to rewrite your rules on this and be glad for it. Because it's a worthy study. You're learning about who you truly are beyond physical identities, that spiritual part of it, to then integrate, right? You got to put it into action, right? It's that shadow side. How do you do that? I'm going to put it into action. I'm going to be more compassionate, but with myself too, which really, if my gut says, get the fuck out of here, leave, right? And not just the intuitive fight or flight thing, but like, this is abusive, or this is neglect. There's a neglect going on here. And I know what to do. I just don't have the courage to do it right now. I'm not really in Superman mode. I'm still kind of Clark Kenting a bit here. You might have to be the solar super person. You know, let's keep it out of gender. Otherwise people will unsubscribe if I misgender somebody. Look, we're all misgendered because we're spirit first. These are the characters that we're playing. And that's what I mean. It's like, what are your rules and regulations not only you have to abide and obey on, but are you keeping other people hostage because of what you studied? Oh, snapperino. Is that loving? Well, I think your heart chakra is closed. Really? Really? I can't hear yours creaking open either. It's a little bitchy in return. So, you know, keep that in mind, right? That witch with study, that you're learning, you're studying your own power, your own soul, your own self, your own process. And that's going to give you all the Sagittarian freedom and expansion you could ever want, regardless of what anybody else does. But walk away from abuse and neglect. Contract canceller. Serious. It took me so long to learn that. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Here's what I learned this past year. You know, I'm not a great student. It took me long enough. Is that I can pick out, anybody can pick out an overt narcissist like that. But the covert narcissist, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a covert. Oh, Google it. Google, or if you really want to entertain yourself, put it in the search field of YouTube. Whoa, there's some heavy duty stuff there. So, you know, and it's not that they're bad, and it's not that they're evil. They're hurt and they're vampiring, right? So we're getting one more card down. It's like there's a little, are you open to lifelong knowledge, right? Of the lifelong learning. All right, last card down, and then we'll do the overview. Higher selves of all involved, please use this Whisper of Love deck for my Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs for this Samhain tide and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Please, a whisper of love as a final message. Oh, I love you. I love this deck because of this card, because it's like, oh, you only know which side it is by the writing and the boundary and the border. I love you. These are very important words to yourself. I love you. Watch Matt Kahn. M-A-T-T space K-A-H-N. Go watch his stuff. Start with his early material, work your way through. You don't got to watch it all as a playlist in one day. But really gives, I mean, you want to learn fifth dimensional stuff, real healing, the love revolution. He's all about the love revolution. I think he probably coined the term. I remember tuning into a love revolution when I was in college. Of course, I was tripping my bag off on LSD at the time, but you know, there's this love revolution that's coming. The shit you forgot. It's actually in some of my journals. So I love you. I love you. I love you. You don't have to feel it every single time you say it. You just need to mean it. No, I know you're going through hell. I love you. I know you're impatient and you want what you want, and what you really want is that seed of happiness. It's okay. I love you. So self-acceptance and self-love. And here's the other thing about I love you. You can silently say it to everyone in your life, people online at Starbucks, people who are driving like assholes on the LIE, because it happens. That's the Long Island Expressway, not the lie. Although, you just silently say, I love you. You do not have to feel it, but you can mean it. But what you're saying, I love you too, is the soul, not the personality. You're like going past the mask, past the wound, into the core, because that's you, right? Unity consciousness, we're all one. So this is really quite fabulous for someone who's supposed to be embracing shadow. This is actually, does not feel horrible and rigorous. So let's do a little magic clap and we'll give you your overview. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're starting off here with the student archetype. In its shadow, arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. We are going to, well, Sagittarians, you're going to be alchemizing this into the light attribute, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. The shadow side of that, about rules, the problem, the situation, the way it's set up is for you to look at your rules, always establishing healthy boundaries. Those will shift and change throughout your life, but really looking at the rules and regulations that that you have set up for yourself, at least those, or perhaps take that further into the ones that no longer serve you, that are imposed upon you by other social norms, right? That's a whole new take on this. You might be getting that expansion, that Sagittarian push, that Zeus saying, no, fuck that, you need to be authentic. Right? You want to dye your hair purple, dye your hair purple. You want to be gay, straight, whatever, you know, go for it. Be true to who you are. And of course, with that tenderness in there, with the light, that does make sense, right? It's like, so to be tender with yourself, you do not have to, like, you don't have to burn down your life to do this. You be very, very gentle. Hence that I love you with the whisper of love at the end. Switching over to the element spread here, the element of fire, you've got the Nine of Flames of Fire card, the Wanderer, right? You want to wander, but you want support in that wandering. And if you are being called, if you have wanderlust, well, then you want to know that you have the support of the divine, but it's written into the divine plan then. If you really want to see, well, what's that light? What light doth through yonder window breaks. Great. Got Billy Shakespeare hanging out in my dining room. To really follow the call. Take the hero's journey, right? Follow the call. You want to know that you're supported on that. Well, I don't think you would be wanting that unless it was time. What do you have? You do have a strong, solid Taurian foundation of life values. And you, for the most part, then accept yourself, right? You got self-acceptance with that is a big part of your value system. So maybe these rules and regulations that you're dealing with here in the shadow, you need to accept that you have abided by them for a time, but to accept that they're no longer authentic to the highest truth that you are learning. And sometimes that does mean walking away. Like, absolutely can be that physically walking away from situations, because what's going on in your mind? You've got Archangel Michael, who's like cutting chains of illusion left, right, and center. Archangel Buzzsaw, forget sword, right? Chainsaw, the Archangel Michael Chainsaw Corps, right next to the Green Lanterns, with that One of Cups, right? So you're really thinking about truth and happiness and a new beginning, and seeing things, thinking things in a new way that are perhaps really lighting you up emotionally, at least giving you that sense of, no, there's got to be something better than this. Well, what's happening in this is actually inspiring you to move forward to something better. Ace of Cups, perhaps a new love, an offering of something. But then we look at the emotional field, and we've got to focus on new beginnings, right? Three of Blades defined in this deck as focus with new beginnings. Totally makes sense. And in your overview, the card of spirit, you've got the witch with study. So definitely about, yeah, spiritual study, but also you can study manifestation, you can study universal laws and all that stuff, but just don't get stuck in the element of air so much. It's you've already got that. It seems like moving along. It's about practical application, right? The student needs to not keep it all up in the third eye, needs to incarnate it, integrate it all the way down into the root chakra and every chakra in between, right? Through our conduct, through what we do. Are we acting? Is our conduct in alignment with the highest truth that we know? And love never goes out of style. And that is a learning curve. You don't nail it all in one day, right? Don't try and race. It's, you know, the path of enlightenment is not about, quick, let me get enlightened so I don't have to come back to this planet anymore. No, that just makes you keep coming back over and over and over again, because as soon as you croak, you see the opportunities. And that's okay too. Because the final voice here from the higher selves of all involved is, I love you. These are very important words. So let that be your mantra. I suggest do it silently. Well, and if you like, you can use it like arrows of truth, arrows of light. And remember, you don't have to feel the love for that person, but you do need to know, I love you, the truth of who you are. I love you, I love you, I love you. And of course, to do that for yourself. So my Sagittarius crabby ass is actually not feeling too terribly crabby here. I love you guys so much. I wish you the very best and the very blessed of this Samhain tide season, and I'll do a formal blessing at the end. But hang in there. The happiness is worth it. If it means really walking away from something toxic, it's time. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. So that when you finally do walk away, it's excruciating, right? The compassionate return of the universe. And even if you leave without really learning, right, implementing, you're going to get another version of it. But that's not a punishment. That is about everything is here to help us. Every single thing, even what rises within us, the unpacking of our own emotional baggage and the evaporating it, right? The water into air through the element of fire, will, and desire. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Check out my description box, all stuff in there. I am available for readings. I'm getting more and more readings every day. So it does slow down the video production, but you know, tough. I'm digging it. And it's not like I have to go work at Citibank, right? This is what I do. Professional reader, Abercrombie and Witch, Aberzombie and Witch. I love you all so much. And may the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs be blessed with all that they need this Samhain tide and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, that they can learn, heal, grow, travel, expand, and be the best that they can be to fulfill their role in the divine plan all the way, all the way, all the way home for the well-being of all. And so it is. I love you all so much. Blessed Samhain. But for now, hail, farewell, farewell, and blessed, blessed, blessed be.